one less streaming service you have to pay for.
Because there was this price thing, dude, I was looking at where it's like they've raised their price. Like Disney Plus, they got me on, obviously, like with the Marvel and Star Wars and whatever, but $5 a month, $6 a month, and the last time I checked my credit card bill was like $20 a month.
Yeah.
Throw that on with like HBO. I think HBO may be the cheapest now, which I don't know that for sure, but it's.
I think so. HBO makes it one of the cheapest, but like it's definitely not Netflix.
No, dude, no.
Yeah.
Oh god. So you think it's do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, this merger? You think it is what it is, or what do you think? What do you think?
Look, I think it's. Look, I don't think. I can't see us as a consumer and benefiting from it a lot. I feel like it's going to shake up a whole lot. And might be disguised as a good thing, but I don't think it's going to be. Because right now it's just not looking good. Especially with cinema at the moment. Potentially Netflix might have been maybe the worst person to buy it.
Yeah.
And I know people like, for example, like my Disney comment, I know people like, oh, Disney's just become a beast and, there'll just be another, if they got Warner Brothers, they would be a juggernaut. I'm like, they're already a juggernaut. There's nothing more. Like, they have 10 of the biggest film franchises in film history under their belt.
Yeah.
That you will continuously go back to. But, I don't know. I think right now it's very early days, but I don't see it being a very good thing. All I can see in the future would be movies going to streaming services a lot quicker.
Yeah. You know what makes me mad is that they buy, the merger is what it is. It's just the way things are now where these big, like Apple or Amazon or Disney just gobbles up like these other things.
Even Apple buying it, I would have predicted.
Yeah, like in Apple, like they usually do a pretty good job with their content, but like the thing that pisses me off is because I had to, for the first time in like 20 years, actually get my own Netflix account because they cracked down on password sharing, right? Like it's all like you have to confirm your email. You can only do it like once a week or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, you sons of bitches are going to crack down on password sharing, but you guys have enough money to buy Warner Brothers for $87 billion. Like it's no big deal. I'm just like, you guys are just looking to screw us. You guys are just looking to screw us.
There you go. 110%, man. 110%. Even though they are the company that tweeted saying the fact that sharing your Netflix password is a good thing.
Yeah.
And that tweet has haunted them.
God, my gosh, Netflix. Yeah, dude, like it obviously like it puts so many like those franchises kind of in, I don't want to say limbo, but just like what's the future going to look like with franchises like James Gunn, DC Studios or freaking Game of Thrones or whatever. Like who?
That's the question.
Like, I don't know about you, but I do not want to watch the Batman Part 2 on my home screen first. I want to see it like in the big screen.
I've been seeing that meme everywhere. I've seen that meme, and I know exactly. Like, what's that going to mean for these franchises? Because that's, these are million dollars movies. These aren't just Netflix films. Like, these are, juggernauts.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, and like one of my all-time favorite cinema moments was during the Batman when he starts up his Batmobile. Yeah. Like shit, dude. Like I was sitting in a showing that started at 8 a.m. in the morning, and like when that Batmobile started to like growl and roar, and I could feel it. I grabbed onto my coworker who came with me, and I was like, I'm about to like pass out here. Like this is like one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. Yeah. And that would not have been the same experiencing that for the first time in my living room. It just wouldn't have been.
No, 100, at all. And I thought you were about to say how Avengers Endgame's coming back to theaters next year.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually excited for that. I'll probably go see that again because I saw it. I had it spoiled for me, unfortunately, because I was on vacation in the Dominican Republic. Yeah. So I knew, yeah. And so I had to watch the whole thing. I speak Spanish, but it's not my first language, and so I had to watch the whole thing in Spanish. And I was like,
No.
like it just wasn't the same, right?
Yeah.
And so, I had to watch it again.
Oh. See, I was worried about that when I tried to go see the Fantastic Four this year in France. I was like really trying to make sure of the fact that I picked an English-speaking one because I'm like, I don't want to watch the whole film with them speaking French and be like, oh my god, Doctor Doom, but I don't know because I can't understand a fucking thing.
Yeah. Dude, we're getting a Doomsday trailer this month, right?
We do, and thank God, I got 2 days ago. I got invited to go to the premiere for Avatar.
Nice, dude.
Thank you. But I said to my friends, I was like, "Is it wrong the fact that I'm just more excited for the Doomsday trailer? Like compared to, it's going to be the longest fucking premiere of my life because Avatar is meant to go for 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh, bro, that's a long ass movie. Oh my gosh.
Even to the point where the premiere times are usually between usually like 6:30, but it's actually because the film goes for so long, its arrivals at 5:30. Film's playing at 6.
Dude.
Because because of the fact that it just goes for so long. And the rumour I've seen lately, which I think is a bit of a stretch, I believe more the Doomsday trailer, there's a rumour that apparently they might be playing the Odysseus and Spider-Man teaser beforehand because they're all them IMAX.
Oh, that's right, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Dude, that'd be a sweet premiere, though. Just the trailer should get you hyped for the movie, but I'm sure the trailers will be the highlight because.
Oh yeah, 100%. It'd be the highlight more than the movie.
Dude, man, I can't wait. Like, yeah, I'm excited to see Namor back and Shang-Chi and all these names we haven't heard for so long. But man, that's cool, man. Dude, that's awesome. I totally forgot they're gonna show it during the Avatar movie. I'm not a big Avatar guy per se.
Nah, neither am I. I only push for it because
the trailer.
I want to see the trailer.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing, man. Like, I need to get my ticket, go see Avatar, so I can see the trailers. Cause, dude, that's cool, man. Congrats, man. That's cool. You keep going to premieres, and that should be an awesome one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, because it's it's the last big one for the year.
Yeah.
Because after that, I've got Anaconda with Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
Yeah. That one should be, I'm sure, exactly what it's advertised to be.
Yeah. I'm not expecting anything. Wow, that was just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm expecting exactly how that's being pitched.
Yeah.
But this week, Fallout starts. Thank Christ.
I know, dude. Thank goodness. I'm so glad that it's finally getting out. I can't wait for Fallout.
Neither can I. I'm just bummed the fact that unlike last time, they're just doing the Netflix thing with it.
Yeah.
So we won't see the ending. Get this. We will not see the ending of Season 2 of Fallout until Feb.
Dude, no, that's freaking lame, dude.
8 weeks.
Well, I hope at least the episodes are long. Like, give me a long episode. You know, like I hated like the whole, like we talked about this last time around the podcast, but like Peacemaker, like the episodes that were like 31 minutes or 32 minutes long.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not here to watch Parks and Rec, man. Like, I'm here to watch Peacemaker. Give me an hour. Give me
exactly.
Give me like a Stranger Things, like a 59 minutes or something. Like, give me something. Something good.
As long as the boys.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my biggest beef with The Last of Us when it came out this year. I was like, bro, don't give me an episode that lasts 37 minutes. Like, give me an hour. I want, like, if I have to wait 2 years for these things to come out, best case scenario, 2 years. Give me an episode that has like some meat on it, you know?
Yeah, 100. Couldn't agree more. And the thing is, what I didn't mind was this year. Yeah, it was this year. Andor Season 2. Mm-hmm. You know, they gave us 3 episodes. It went over 4 weeks, 3 episodes dumped each week. Nearly, you know, the episodes went for about 48, 45 minutes, 50 minutes roughly, give or take. But we got 3 in one go.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, man. Like, that was awesome. Like, it was like getting a movie a week, essentially, like, on Andor.
Really, yeah.
Which was awesome. And, like, I know, like, they do it weekly because they want the conversation to go on longer, but, like, like, just, yeah, I get it, like, whatever for your marketing, but the way Andor did it, I just felt it was good, was a good happy medium where it's like, we want to have you talk about it longer, but we also want to, like, give the fans, like, something good. Let's give you 3 episodes a week versus just one that's 30, 40 minutes long.
That's exactly right. Even if they, even if they get, here's 4 episodes of Fallout. 4 episodes of Fallout before the new year, and here's another 4 coming the end of January. I'm like, okay, at least you're giving us 4 that we can binge and talk about and get excited about.
Yeah.
Not, all right, here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. And one.
Yeah. Which I totally get why some people, like, I know some people just wait 8 weeks and they just binge it when they're done. I don't know if I could do that personally. I don't know if I have the willpower to do that, but I mean, God bless people that can do it, because I sure as hell can't do it.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you because because all the clips of stuff going on. All the clips, like, I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to watch this. So, no, I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Dude, well, I'm super glad to welcome you back to the podcast, man.
Happy to be here. Oh, also thank you for the shout out yesterday too.
Oh yeah, of course. It's our we're happy to do it, man. Yeah. We've had some awesome guests on this year. You obviously being one of my favorites.
Thanks.
If not my favorite, bro. If not my favorite. But yeah, man, I just really appreciate you coming back on with this series too. Like, the last one we had got some really good traction with the Dark Knight, and just really good conversations of Ra's al Ghul. Not Dark Knight, Batman Begins. Today we're talking about Dark Knight.
I know, really, that last episode, I think towards the end, we really were already talking about the Dark Knight.
Yeah, which, it's funny because, like, I watched Batman Begins and I loved it. I loved it. It was great and all these different things. But then you rewatch the Dark Knight and you're just kind of thrust back into where you're just like, okay, I remember how good this was, like, when I saw it, and how impacted I was, like, in the theater, like, when it happened. And like, I remember I went and saw that movie like 5 or 6 times, and I went home to my mom because I was a senior in high school, and I was trying to explain kind of what happened, and she was like really upset that I went and seen this movie because, like, the last 40 minutes of that movie are really dark. Ooh. Really dark. And I'm just like, I was explaining to my mom of just how impacted I was by the movie, and she was like, why'd you go see this? Like, what's this rated? Like, why'd you let you in? And, it's PG-13, but I just remember just how dark the movie got toward the end. And I remember, we talked about last time on the podcast the cost of heroism and where Batman went to Gotham to fight the mob specifically. And I watched that. I watched The Dark Knight again with that in mind. And I knew, and we talked about, like, there's the trilogy. It's Bruce doing what he set out to do, and then him dealing with the aftermath of of him being a hero, of the pushback, of the reaction of the criminals. And I was able to pinpoint the moment that happened, that Bruce Wayne fulfilled his destiny, his promise, whatever, and began to clean up the aftermath of heroism, the consequences of heroism. And it's when the Joker shoves the dead body and he hits the mayor's window. That is when, like, I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, the new game has started, to where Batman fulfilled his thing and the criminals are now pushing back, and the rest of the trilogy is just Batman cleaning up what he started.
Very much, yeah. It's true. And I agree with you. This film, like, this was like Avengers, Infinity War type of thing, just blown away, because it's just such, if Batman Begins was an 8, if you will, like, this was just 11. Everything was just raised. The tone of the film, the scale of the film, but still keeping in the same vibe of, you're getting the Batman and fulfilling the promise from the first one, being like, the Joker's going to be the next. And I still remember people being really unhappy that Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker. Like, you're telling me the guy from The Knight's Tale and Brokeback Mountain is going to be playing the Joker? Uh, and don't get me, I was one of them. I was one of them going,
Interesting.
how? Yeah, like, you know, interesting the fact that you have to follow up, you know, growing up on the Batman the Animated Series, Mark Hamill's Joker, which, you know, is very in line with the Jack Nicholson Joker, and just trying to imagine this and how this is going to work in the, you know, the Christopher Nolan universe. And the fact that this is only the second time on live action movie that the Joker appeared. And as we are recording this in 2026, there's now been like 6.
Yeah. Dude, but he was so good though. Like you forget how good he was just like in that role. And like I was the same thing when they first announced it, like I wasn't really that tuned into like Hollywood at that moment. I just knew he was the guy from Brokeback Mountain because I'm from Wyoming, and Brokeback Mountain is kind of like a running joke in Wyoming, even though it's a really good film. But like the movie, like, because you know, having watched Batman Begins so recently, and him talking about like wanting to inspire people and wanting to like take on the mob, and like you see like kind of the opening scene where like the mob is meeting in broad daylight. There's a bunch of copycats out there. There's all these like court hearings, and you can see like Batman's like fulfilling that promise that he made of like what he was going to do. And the Joker, like when he first comes on, because we talked in the last episode how Ra's al Ghul kind of challenges Bruce on a philosophical level and the Scarecrow on a psychological level. I think the Joker kind of challenges him on a moral level to where Batman's morality, like Joker really does just see that as a big joke. Like I don't think he sees a right and a wrong. I think he is just like he explained to like Harvey Dent when Harvey Dent's on the hospital, where he just goes, because for him like morality is just a joke. Like it's just something that people tell themselves to help them sleep better at night. And like Bruce is deeply moral character. It's kind of interesting to see him wrestle with that throughout that movie, and a lot of that has to go with, I think, Heath Ledger's performance. Like he's just so good, dude. He's just so good. And he's so frightening, and he's so just great casting by Christopher Nolan.
This is one of the rare movies, which I think we mentioned it last time as well. This is one of the rare movies that when you watch this film, you're not interested. No, well, not so interested. The villain just takes every scene. The villain is the most interesting part of the film. You're waiting for the next scene when he's going to be on scene. Like, yes, you're following up the hero, Christian Bale, but you're glued every time Heath Ledger comes on the screen. And there's multiple movies out there where that is the case, but that list is very short.
Yeah, and you just don't know. The thing that I remember, I watched it again, and we've kind of in I guess the couple decades since this has come out, explored kind of like the Joker's backstory, like, you know, with the Joker movie and all these different things. Like we've kind of like touched on different things, but I think what makes this Joker interesting is just he has really no backstory. Like he talks about like the scars on his face, right? But he tells 3 different versions of that story to where you're like, well, which one is the truth? He has no identification. His clothing is made by him, and the closest thing you get to like a backstory of him, of like how he thinks, is how Alfred describes that warlord in Africa, where he's like, I don't know anything about this guy except for his philosophy. He just wants to watch the world burn. And that's like the only thing that you know for sure about this guy.
And the thing is that ties in very much with the Killing Joke.
Oh yeah,
which is partially considered the definitive edition of how the Joker became the Joker. And he says in that movie that he prefers his backstory to have multiple choice, which aligns in with this. I know I've seen multiple, like as you said, I've seen multiple videos of people trying to debug that. I think the most common one, I think I've seen the most since this movie came out, is that he is ex-military, who's going through trauma, and broken down, or his entire unit's been killed or something, and that's the only way that he could really be this messed up with those scars and have the military prowess that he does.
Yeah, I've read that theory too, and specifically with that line in like the hospital where he's talking to Harvey Dent, and he's like, if a truck full of soldiers gets blown away, it's all like part of the plan. Yeah. And like I gotta tell you, I loved watching this movie again. Like you focus on Heath Ledger because he's so just like he's just so the Joker, you know, and you follow kind of Bruce Wayne and how he like his morality really does become like this shackle to where like he's like, what do I do here? Like the consequence of what I've done. Like I'm trying to stay moral in a way that I just don't know how to do. But who I really fixated on this time, man, was like honestly Harvey Dent. Like I don't see. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and 100%. Like Aaron, I think people forget he does such a good job as Harvey Dent. Again, almost on the same bar, or slowly pushing down Christian Bale. That he's so good as Harvey Dent. And the thing is, when I first watched this film back in 2008, for some reason, I don't know why, but like I forgot that Harvey Dent was in the film. Like I knew the Joker and the Batman, but then for some reason, like just couldn't remember. So when he rocked up and everything that happened to his character, I was like, holy shit. And we really haven't got a great Harvey Dent. Actually, no, at all. We haven't had a great Harvey Dent since then.
No, dude, and he was so like I've got so many notes that I took about his character, like specifically. The first one is like when they're at dinner and Bruce kind of shows up last minute, and like Bruce is kind of like making fun of him because he's jealous and everything. But there's a scene where he goes, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and he kind of gives props to the Batman, where he's like, like Batman has shown Gotham these criminal faces. He's given people power. Yes, and like you can see Batman, like Bruce, he shows up kind of like wanting to make fun of him because he's dating Rachel, and he's wanting to have like a dick measuring contest essentially.
Yeah.
But when he says that and he gives credit to the Batman for him allowing himself to be a better DA, you can see like, and Christian Bale deserves so much credit for the scene. You can see like his countenance change, where he's kind of looking at him like this, and he starts looking at him just like this, like admiration. And recognizing I became the Batman to empower someone like Harvey Dent to take up my mantle publicly and to do the work on the front line, and I can finally retire as Batman. I think he realizes that Harvey Dent can be that guy.
Yes, and let's just talk about for a brief second that line. That line, I feel, has transcended into so many different mediums. And this is one of those iconic lines of Hollywood now, is that you either die a hero or you live long enough to yourself to become a villain. Like how many times have we seen that in both politics, in other movies, in sports, entertainment, stuff like that? We've seen that concept has worked so well. Like, you know how many memes we saw with RDJ as Dr. Doom?
Yep.
Like, perfect right there.
Yep. And like even like you can see it this year with and like I'm a big Pedro Pascal stan. Like I really like Pedro Pascal and everything that he's in. I think he's a great actor. But like he started out this year just in everything, right? Everything. He's killing it as Joel, Mr. Fantastic. He's in like all these indie films like
The Materialist.
Yeah, The Materialist he's in, which
Weapons.
Yeah, he was almost in Weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
And then like all these clips started to come up where like he's very like because he has anxiety and he kind of holds on to his coworkers and when he gets anxious and people started to like bash him for it, where it's like, oh, this guy's just a weirdo, he's a creepy. And I'm like, this guy was the daddy of the internet from January to June, and now like he's all of a sudden become the villain. And like obviously that's an extreme case of like he hasn't done anything wrong, but you see like with other people too of like just in Hollywood, in life, or even like in Marvel, to where like Iron Man, like the guy that ended the end game, and now they bring back the same actor as Doctor Doom. What does RDJ say? New mask, same task.
Yeah.
But you're right. It really has transcended, and it's one of those like just lines that kind of, I don't know, it's become like eternal or celestial. I don't know what you want to call it, but just it echoes. It gets more truthful as the years go on.
That's probably the better word for it. It just echoes through, and it's a bit of, you could almost say that like that is if you're talking about the Dark Knight trilogy, like that's his whole feat almost.
Yeah.
To not be the villain, not to cross that line for Batman, and like that's entirely Batman's mission. Yeah,
I mean, dude, I like Batman. One thing that I learned in this movie, kind of watching it again, is like Batman loves his city so much more than he loves himself. And I go into kind of like, he's willing to give up his mantle for Harvey Dent. Like, he's wanting to do all these different things. But toward the middle of the movie and then the end specifically, the line where he's getting ready to turn himself in and he's kind of telling Alfred, he's like, what do you want me to do, Alfred? Like, I'm trying to do good here. And the Joker's killing people. He's blowing people up. And like, what am I supposed to do?
What would you have me do?
Yeah, what would you have me do? And he says, like, perfect like segue. He says, endure, even if they hate you for it. Even if they hate you for it. I think for Bruce, that's kind of hard for him because, like,
he wants to be the hero.
Yeah,
he wants to do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't get like? And I'll talk about like the work that I do for a second is. Like I have like behind like my screen like a bunch of like awards that I've gotten for like the work that I've done, and it's really easy to go to your head. It is really whatever, but it's really easy to like go to your head, right? Like people tell you you're this thing, and you start to kind of buy into your own bullshit. Honestly,
all the time. What could you tell by the hat I'm wearing,
dude? No, but you are a badass though. You are like you sell yourself short, but like when it's all kind of when he becomes hated for enduring, like he's enduring and he's hated, and then in the end, the sacrifice that he makes, morally, like we can talk about that like in the next time we talk about The Dark Knight Rises, but when he essentially sacrifices his own reputation for the betterment of Gotham, to where like the whole thing, like there's a couple lines like imagine what you could do with 18 months of clean streets. Expand that now because of Bruce's decision into 7 years of clean streets. Based on a lie, based on his own sacrifice, based on what Gordon says, plunging his hand into the mud so he can keep his clean. And I don't know, like the line at the end that Gordon says, like at this moment in the series, like he's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. I'm just like, that is, and the fact that Bruce did that for his city, I was just really impacted by that. That no one's ever going to know what happened in that apartment building except for those that were there. And based on the decision that were made, it was the betterment for the moment for Gotham City.
Yeah, 100%. And like that line, that end speech is so iconic, and embodying the Dark Knight. And you can see why people like the Dark Knight more than Dark Knight Rises. And there's a few franchises out there we can look at that people like the second one more than like the third.
Yeah.
And even just a little trivia fact, like that end scene where Batman goes off into that light, into the Bat Pod. Apparently that was Nolan was struggling to figure out how to finish the film, and that's actually just a scene from the daily shoots. Like it wasn't actually, he just saw it, it was like bingo. So even the ending was a bit, I don't know what to do, and they just had this scene and it worked out perfect.
So what's your favorite scene in the movie? Because I have one written down, but I'd love to know which one is your favorite scene.
Oh, see, there's just so many, like being the action movie guy. The truck flip is always gets me. Always like, God damn! Like that reminds me. When I remember I saw that reminded me of Casino Royale when they flip the car when he's driving against an Aston Martin. He flips that and just barrel rolls, and I was like, that's just so cool. Probably I'd say the scene that I always enjoy is in the interrogation room, because this is the first time that in the film that they're both face to face, and it's very much like Civil War, where everything the Joker says, you're like, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense. Everything you say is completely justified. Or even Thanos. Everything he's saying, you're like, there's a part of me that's like, I can't disagree with you.
Yep.
Because he says, he's like, you're not like these other animals. Don't talk like them.
Yep.
You're different.
Yep.
And he was right. As soon as you're done with you, they'll throw you away. And he was, boom.
Yep. Oh man, that's like obviously that's one of the most famous scenes of all time. But you talking like that, it's almost like that scene is a fight scene without them fighting, because they're fighting with their logic, they're fighting with their worldviews, and they're both trying to like just and you're right, like I think that's what's so good about Christopher Nolan's universe is the villains that he portrayed. I don't think they see themselves as villains. And Joker, I don't think he sees like I said earlier, like the good and the bad. I don't think that he thinks that way. I think that he's just like, we're just people doing things. Like you may see me as the bad guy. I don't see you as my enemy. I don't see you as the bad guy or good guy. I just see you as someone I enjoy hanging out with and fighting with and talking to. And Bruce is like a deeply moral character. I think that he
doesn't want to be associated by them. He doesn't. He's like, I'm nothing like you.
It's and then he thinks that, and they're both in the interrogation room, dressed up very like one is a clown, one is a bat. To where it probably scares Bruce a little bit to like this guy maybe is more like similar to me than I want to admit. Even though like the moral compass, like obviously that's why the decision that Bruce makes at the end of like destroying the device and taking the rap for Harvey Dent, I think kind of proves that he is different from the Joker and he won't let Joker win. Because for the majority of the movie, Joker is proven right over and over and over and over again. Where it's like, you just watch. I will pressure Batman into surrendering. I'll make his life so miserable that he will surrender to the cops. He did that, and Harvey Dent had to step in and kind of save his ass at the end. But he's like, you watch. I'm going to make these people. I'm going to make someone kill the guy that wants to rat out Bruce Wayne for being Batman. I'm going to make someone kill him by threatening to blow up a hospital. You watch. Like it won't be hard. And until the very end, like they kind of choose to chuck the remote off the boat. He's proven right most of the movie.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, couldn't agree more. And again, you think he's not going to corrupt Harvey Dent, but then you start seeing the cracks. And again, another reflection is that Bruce Wayne looks at Harvey Dent and is like, I was going to vote for Harvey Dent, and then he thinks the fact that he could have been like this. Yep. He could have gone down that road and been like that. And you just said it yourself. Batman says the iconic line at the end is like, the Joker cannot win.
Yeah. Dude, the Joker, like there's so many scenes of his that are so good. This isn't my favorite scene. I'll get to my favorite scene in a second.
I was gonna say, what is your favorite scene?
I'll tell you, but it has to do with Harvey Dent. But the conversation between Joker and Harvey Dent, I really enjoyed, like in the hospital, because that's the moment that he really turns Harvey, not even to Joker's side, but to Harvey's own side, where he's like, look what I did to this city with a couple of bullets and some gasoline. He's like, we're all just like, I'll show you, like when people are made desperate enough, like they'll eat each other. And he's proven right like most of the time. But my favorite scene is when Harvey Dent or when Commissioner Gordon goes to see Harvey Dent in the hospital. Because I thought that they were setting up Two-Face to be the villain for the next movie. I didn't know that Two-Face was going to have an arc in this movie.
No, neither do I.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
But that scene, like he's like the music starts to tense up and to swell. He's asking Harvey these questions, and Commissioner Gordon, you can just see how panicked and desperate he is, seeing Harvey like this. He was like, Harvey, like, who took Rachel? I need to know. And Harvey's like, what did you guys call me? In the academy and all these different things. And Commissioner Gordon's like, why are we revisiting this now? I need to know this information. And Harvey gets pissed. He's like, say it. And they don't show Two-Face's face the first time. The first time you just see Commissioner Gordon's reaction. So he's like, why should I hide who I am? He turns around and the music gets really deep and swells. And you can see like Commissioner Gordon's just like look of like fear and disgust and failure like on his face. And then when it turns back to Harvey, he's back on his face. And I always remember just being in my seat, even like watching it like in my apartment a few days ago, when you finally see Two-Face's face and like what actually happened to him, and just how Gotham's White Knight is now this monster. I remember just being so impacted where it's like, oh my gosh. And again, like my favorite scenes from the Batman Begins movie is when like people are talking and dialoguing and the writing is just so good. And I just thought in that moment, the reveal of Two-Face and what happened to him physically and mentally, and how his hope was basically like burned down with Rachel. I just thought I was really impacted by that. I got chills and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this happened.
you're losing your city, you've lost your love of your life because the wrong, the cops that you trusted took you to the wrong place, and the wrong cop came and got you. And actually, it's funny. Just a little tidbit again is that with the Two-Face, which I only noticed in the third and the fourth, is that that scene where Nolan sees Harvey Dent for the first time in his office.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
When he's sitting there, go back and watch it. When he's sitting there, on the bookshelf behind, it's foreshadowing. The bookshelf behind, on the left, it's all sorted and everything's fine. On the other half, it's all messy. The bookshelf behind it, yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that was a detail in that.
Yeah, if you go back and watch it, and you're like, foreshadowing.
No, and that decision, obviously, Harvey does such dark things throughout the rest of the movie, but Joker, you talk about him just being a master strategist. He knew, when he took those two people, Bruce and Rachel, he knew that by tricking Bruce and sending him after Harvey instead of Rachel, that they were gonna, because the cops weren't gonna get there fast enough. He knows that, and he knows by doing that. And I was watching this movie, I didn't put this together until I was watching it and sitting back and kind of digesting it, to where Joker knew what he was doing. He knew that to continue to torture Gotham and Batman, he needs to save Harvey and kill Rachel, because that will torture Batman and it will torture Harvey, and he gets to watch which one of them breaks first because of that loss. I'm just God, Joker, he's just, even in prison, he knows he's in control of the situation, and he knows by giving a fake lead on who's where that he will continue to torture the city of Gotham and Batman just by that one fake information, but just based on that one fake tip.
Yeah, and he figured it out, because he says it. He's like, how you leaped after it for the window. Mm-hmm. He's like, I figured it out. At the party. So yeah, it's interesting just watching and going how it's one of those films which a lot like pretty much nearly all Christopher Nolan's films almost, is that you need to go watch it for a second time. You need to go watch it for a second time, and you just see how everything just falls into place, and you're like, at the very start, that we go with the Joker, with Two-Face being these two iconic villains, going with the Batman, pushing the Batman, and in the ending with, he was the hero, to us, the hero won, but really, until you get to Dark Knight Rises, you realize that no, he really didn't.
Yeah, and it's just there's so many, watching the trilogy as a whole, there's so many things that come to fruition later, with the lie, with the cleanup of the streets, with the laws that come in place, with Harvey Dent, and Harvey, going back on him, you can see how his frustration builds throughout the movie too, after he's burned, because one thing that I've learned in my work is that criminals almost never take responsibility for their actions. Almost never. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a court case or something with someone who's committed these horrific acts, and they're always I'm not really the bad guy. This, I didn't do it that. Or
that makes no sense.
No sense. And Harvey, he goes to these people, man. That's one thing I noticed in this film, is he goes to 3 different cops and a mob boss, and each one of them is oh, it wasn't me. I had the medical bills. They didn't tell me they were going to do this to you. None of them. And then the mob boss, I had no idea they were going to do this to you. None of these people take responsibility for everything that Harvey's lost. And so I think that's what gets him to kind of escalate, where he kidnaps a policeman's son and is ready to kill him, because none of these people take responsibility for their actions.
No. And then, as he says, to Commissioner Gordon, it was your people. It was your people. It was your department that you trusted, and she's dead because of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even with Commissioner Gordon, he's fakes his death. That's for for starters. Fakes his death. But he goes through a whole lot. He's almost the fourth person just trying to hold this all together. and gets dragged through the whole mud towards the end. Even in the next movie as well. But Gary Oldman again does such a good job as Commissioner Gordon. And is one of the best Commissioner Gordons that we've seen on screen.
Yeah, and like his performance toward like the end of the movie with that final scene with Two-Face, dude. I remember that movie when I watched it in theaters for the first time. Like, really scared me, like as a kid, because like Two-Face was so visibly disturbing. Like, you grew up with like Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, where it's like he's purple, and you're like, whatever. Yeah. But Two-Face, but this Two-Face is like he's deformed, he's in pain, he's very aggressive, he's got a gun. And like Commissioner Gordon kind of goes through like this whole like round of emotions where he's fearful, he's angry, he passes the blame, and then he takes the blame where it's like, look, because his first thing was like, I was trying to fight the mob, kind of like pushing it off on other people, and then he's like, no, it was me, point that gun at me, point it at me, and just like the fear in his face and like the Hans Zimmer score in that, like Two-Face's performance is like this situation escalates, and he starts to flip his coin. I remember, like, I was watching it in theaters for the first time of just being like, this is a different superhero story than what I'm used to, and it's good in a good way. And then Gary Oldman's performance, like in that scene, and just how, again, like I know we kind of sneak into the next movies, like when we talk, but how that, like, how would you fucking do that? Where it's like you for 7 years in The Dark Knight Rises, he has to praise a man who put a gun on his kid. That's got to be so fucking hard, man. I could, like, if someone put a gun on my nephew or something, or my niece, and I had to praise that guy for the next 7 years to ensure like stability in my city, dude, that would cause me to drink, to fucking lose sleep.
Well, he does. He loses his family. They move away or move out, and the weight. You're right. As the weight of, like, you have to praise a man who put a gun to your children's head, was almost going to kill them, or if you don't, and people find out, hundreds of criminals come back and will almost cripple the city and the justice system if you don't. And all the people that you can rely on are gone.
Yep. Yeah, and you can just see it on his face there. You see it like in The Dark Knight Rises of just how that affects him, and like it goes back to like the question of like there's something that Harvey says when he's got the gun pointed at him, where it's like, how can we be decent men in indecent times?
Indian times. And
like I don't know if that line has quite risen to like the echo of, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, but I think it's kind of in the vicinity to where it's a good question, to where, like you said, like Batman was a good man. Like morality for him was everything. And when they were done with him, they threw him to the wolves. Like they could not get rid of him fast enough. You think of like superhero medium as a whole, or like people that are compassionate, people that are generous. Like even in the world that we live in today, like it's really like studying in business school, for example. I studied healthcare administration like in business school, and God bless people that work in a hospital. Like they make good money to take care of people. But the main thing that I learned in business school as a healthcare administrator was how to overcharge their insurance. It's like, how do you freaking like maintain your morality in a world that like is like that, And I think that's what makes this conversation so interesting between Gordon, Harvey Dent, Joker, and Batman, is for Batman and Gordon specifically, morality was everything. That was their things. Like that's what separates us. Even like from the back in the other movie, that's what separates us from them. And for the Joker, morality is just a joke. It's not real. It's something that people make up believe.
You can buy anybody. You can push anyone. If someone has one bad day, you can push them over the limit.
Yep. And he does that and that's, I think morality is important to Harvey too. And Joker uses Harvey like as an experiment of, let me show you, like, what is the line that he says to Bruce, like when in the final battle, where, again, like the final battle between Batman and Joker, like it's not it's not a battle like we got like in Batman Begins, which is like more of like a fist fight. It's more of like a psychological battle to where there's a little fight, but then Joker hangs upside down, and he's kind of they're going over like what happened with the boats, and then he's like, I showed Gotham's true colors. Like I brought the best guy in Gotham, Gotham's White Knight, and I brought him down to our level. Me and you, again, like scaring Bruce of like you and I are the same, and now Harvey is right there with us.
Oh, it was madness is very much like gravity. All it takes is a single push.
Yeah, and he was right, dude. And he was right. I mean, good for Batman. There's a quote that I stole from this site that I watched to kind of prep for this podcast of. There's a line that I think I forget about when it comes to the Dark Knight, and it's when Harvey dies and Bruce and Gordon are kind of talking and they're discussing, and he's like, I did those things, and Gordon's like, you didn't, you're not, and Batman responds with, I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be, and I'm just like. I think that's his true test, like in that moment to where it's like, Gotham needs me right now to be the hero it deserves, but not the one it needs right now. And I just love that. I just loved it, dude. I just loved that you still can be a decent man, in a decent time.
Man, it's true. And that whole end speech, and then he's like, it was a White Guardian, a Dark Knight. Boom.
Yeah.
Title card. Yeah.
Dude, the score in this movie was so good too. Hans Zimmer, man, does he ever miss? You went and saw F1, right? Did you like F1?
Loved it. I loved it. I did my Spotify Wrapped, and F1 theme is my most played song of 2025.
Hans Zimmer, bro.
I know. He does not miss. And I only learned it the other day, didn't even realise, he also did the score for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Really?
Which was really good. He also does the score for that. The score for The Dark Knight, just the Joker's theme, the Batman theme is just fantastic. Especially when you go look at the special features and you hear how he came up with it. Just that every time with the Joker, just that creepy violin like screech.
Yep.
Yeah, coming in, and even like that's coming even iconic with the Dark Knight theme. You know, from the Batman '89 theme, the Dark Knight theme, to Robert Pattinson's Batman theme. Like it's just as soon as you hear that, you're like, Batman.
Yep.
Like,
yeah,
that's what you see.
And Hans Zimmer, like again, like music has such a way of like amplifying like what you're already feeling. To where the Joker, like that one screechy violin, like it's the tension, and then just like the uneasiness of like, what is this wild card going to do? And you fast forward another movie again with Bane's theme, like the chanting and the drums, like intimidation, like strength, overpowered. Of just like when you hear that song, you're just like, oh, like I'm about to get hit and it's going to hurt. You know it's coming. You can't stop it and it's going to hurt. And you can just, it's Hans Zimmer. I don't know if there's anyone better at like portraying emotion or amplifying emotion through music than Hans Zimmer.
No, between him, Jonathan Williams, he's just does such a good job. And it's funny because I thought with F1, like I remember looking at Hans Zimmer as doing the soundtrack. I'm like, what amazing soundtrack could you do for just a racing movie?
Yeah.
And walking out of that theatre going, fuck. And it becomes one of your most played songs on your Spotify because of just how good it is. Hans Zimmer absolutely kills it in this film. And it's so iconic that when you listen to it, you can just keep listening to it again and again. You know, and The Dark Knight, it came out in 2008. In the same year that we get The Dark Knight, which it made $1 billion at the box office, ranked in so many awards, and that same year we get Iron Man.
Oh, dude, You're eating good that year, 2008.
Oh, yeah,
Oh man,
we were. It just set such a precedence of here's a film that's going to change our whole perspective of comic book films into a shared universe that's going to launch this billion-dollar franchise, and then you've got The Dark Knight that completely, again, re-changed the whole aspect and scope of what a comic book movie can do. We got both of them in the same year.
Dang, I never put that together, dude. You're spot on, man. Like, people still rank The Dark Knight as like the best superhero movie ever, the best villain.
Yes.
And Iron Man, like, it all started with him, man. It all started with him being like, I am Iron Man. And then everything that's come since, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars and all these characters, and it all started with, I am Iron Man.
35 films later, billion-dollar franchise, one of the highest the highest grossing film franchise of all time, which will never, ever be matched.
Never.
No. And then you got The Dark Knight, which we've seen in multiple different films, comic films, where people have tried to take that type of aspect, that type of grittiness, and try and apply it in different films. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. It just not didn't reset the bar, but it became the bar.
Yeah.
You're either above The Dark Knight in comic book movies, or you're below it. That is the middle ground, which are a sense of this film that every single comic book film is matched on. Or, which I've seen multiple times in people's reviews, the best thing since The Dark Knight.
Oh god, yeah. Every review, every time. Yeah, dude. Like that's so interesting. Like, I mean, you're right. Like with the MCU, like that'll never be matched again. Even I don't even think Avengers Doomsday will be as a communal of experience as Endgame was, just because like the build up for that and like all these different things and like just, I mean, everybody you knew like was going to see Endgame. It was a monumental event that everybody had to witness in theaters, like seeing all these heroes together and seeing the combination of like this story. Even if some people, like I know some people that missed a few stories here and there, like some people didn't see Thor: The Dark World or missed Captain America 1 or something, but everybody knew who Thanos was at that point. Everybody knew that a lot of the Avengers had died in the previous one, and that it was all going to culminate in the end game. And then The Dark Knight, like I think you talk about, and I watched it like this podcast, like getting ready for this, of how The Dark Knight, like there's so many superhero movies that are really good that owe The Dark Knight a thank you, because it showed like you can make a superhero movie that's dark, that's gritty, that's semi-grounded in realism. Like obviously, like you have to suspend some kind of disbelief when it's like the Batman taking this guy out of the China Tower and whatever.
Yeah,
and you have to suspend some of that, but
great
scene, dude. And the one before that too, of like the Russian boat scene where he takes the Russian girls on a boat and they're just chilling, and it's just a Bruce Wayne doing Bruce Wayne stuff to get things done, where it's like you gotta buy a pool to show them a Playboy, you gotta take these Russian dancers to a boat to show them a Playboy, and sneak off and then also arrest this fugitive from justice. But like
on a weekend.
But like they talk about like the podcast that I was watching talked specifically about Captain America: The Winter Soldier, to where that film owes Dark Knight a gratitude, because it showed that kind of movie can be made gritty, based in realism. It can get dark, but it can still maintain like the PG-13 vibes. Because before that, like I don't know many movies that, like superhero movies, that were dark per se, like dark in kind of like the vibe that gave before The Dark Knight.
There was different mediums of dark. For example, like the X-Men films. Like they weren't overly. I'd say they were stemming on a dark level, especially some of the tones that you do see in those films, especially 1 and 2. And you did have the Punisher movies that were a bit darker. Then you had the Blade films that were semi-dark, but nothing that really culminated all together in the right medium. Especially, which we mentioned in the last episode, is just the biggest gap between what Batman thought he'd look like between the Adam West and the Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Like, that was the last impression that people did have of Batman on the big screen. And then you get these two films at the time, which just blew everyone away.
Yeah.
And we still, like, here, we're in 2026, we're still talking about this film because of just the big impact that it did have. That, you know, people, like, the entire trilogy is named after this movie.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, it's Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. But everyone says it's the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. Dude, man, it's such a good movie, man. It's so, the Joker, that casting, Christian Bale, Harvey Dent, like Commissioner Gordon, like, you know, the whole, you know, Batman makes the mob so desperate they turn to the Joker, or the Joker makes Gotham so desperate they do crazy shit. And how, like, who's going to win, like, in this moral chess match, like, that's the real battle. And, like, the themes in it, like, why is this movie so, like, obviously the performances are great, but, like, you live long enough, you either die here, you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. An eternal line that people still quote today, what does it look like to, like, combat criminals? And, like, what does it look like to do that in a moral way? Like, what does it look like to, like, what is, like, how do you prevent corruption, like, in law enforcement? You know, like, Gotham, like, it's essentially like the corruption inside the police force that causes so much of the pain here, you know? And so, like, you talk about that more. I feel like that conversation more than ever is, like, holding governments accountable, you know, even, like, in your own cities, and how that can make or break a city, and, like, all these different themes. And then just morality as a whole. Like, what does it mean to be moral, like, in a society today, to where, I mean, you talk Batman, I think his morality is kind of like the core of, like, who he is and what separates him from them. But he does some things here that are questionable morally, when he spying on the whole city, taking the blame for a murder.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like just, and I think that conversation is so relevant even 20 years later. Like, we're talking about this, like you said, 20 years later. What does it look like to be a decent man in an indecent time? Because it just seems like the world just gets worse and worse.
Well, it's funny, we actually said, let's mention that in 2 years, we're going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of this film.
Dude.
Crap.
I bet it comes back in theaters too, man. I bet it comes back. And
yes, sure. There was, I didn't get the chance to do it, but I wish I did. IMAX did this whole day of the Dark Knight, where it was Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, all back to back, and I'm like, that'd be incredible, but that's a long day.
Yeah. Dude.
Which I shouldn't complain, because if you do all three extended cuts of The Lord of the Rings, that's even longer.
Dude, you know, it's awesome. It's awesome, but there are some, like, physical consequences I hadn't counted on. Like, you don't realize, like, how much you sweat in the movie theater when you're just sitting there for 10 hours. And, like, when I stood up and I realized, like, how much I'd sweat in my shorts, I was like, that's pretty gross. But you're just sitting there, you know. You're sitting there.
You're just excited.
Yeah, you're just excited. You're just there, and you're just like, and it does, like, you start to sweat because, like, the theater's always perfect temperature. But you're fucking, like, in the Lord of the Rings, like, you're watching King Theoden charge Gondor. Like, you're like, I'm sweating a little bit. Like, it's getting intense.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on. And, like, same thing with The Dark Knight. Like, you're watching Harvey Dent getting ready to shoot this kid. You have no idea if that's going to happen or not. Like, if you're watching for the first time, like, naturally you start to sweat and whatever. And but yeah, dude, I mean, it's just 20 years. I'm sure they're going to have it in theaters again. Hopefully theaters are still around by then with, like, this whole Warner Brothers Netflix merger. But yeah, man, just The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan, I think obviously his career is taken off in such a way where he's the director of the Guild now. Making these
and with Odysseus on the horizon for next year, which I think, again, calling it now, it'll probably be the film of the year. It'll be Best Picture next year. I think it will be. And we are going to be eating next year between Doomsday, Dune, Odysseus, Toy Story 5, Spider-Man. Like, we are going to be, it's going to be a big year next year for film. But you're right, with Christopher Nolan, my question is he keeps raising the bar. I'm like, what's your next film going to be? Like, what haven't you conquered in film that you're going to bring to the big screen? Like, you know, you've done a comic book series, which I don't think you'll ever go back to a comic book franchise ever again. I'd be very surprised if he did, but I don't think he will. I think he's a person that he likes to try things differently and give a crack at different things, you know, between The Prestige, the Dark Knight trilogy, Tenet, Inception, Interstellar, Oppenheimer, you know, and the question is that what is his next film going to be beyond that?
It kind of seems like he's on like a historical kick a little bit, where it's like what was the World War II thing that he did? Dunkirk, yeah,
which was really good.
Yeah, he did Dunkirk. He did Tenet, which I think was his own content. But like after Tenet, he did Oppenheimer, again like historical. The Odyssey, which I believe is based on a book that they said that this could never be made to film, and he's like, well, frick it, I'm the best director in the world.
Exactly,
so
100%.
Try it.
Oh, the ultimate thing of like, we can't bring this to film. Bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, we can't bring Oppenheimer to the screen. Yeah, how do you shoot a bomb? That we have a bomb go off. We film the fucking bomb, mate.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Yeah. Oh, mate, you can't flip a semi-trailer. We're gonna flip a semi-trailer.
You can't down a plane. Like, fucking watch me.
Yeah, exactly right. You can't have a train go through the streets of a town. Watch me.
Yeah, watch me do it, and I'll flip it too. First try.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. And I think I mentioned to you as well, is like, I feel like with his films, they've become event films. Like you buy your ticket regardless of whatever it is, because you know you're in for such a unique ride, unique storytelling, and something fantastic. So same thing, like if you just said, if you didn't say Odysseus, you would just say, next Christopher Nolan film's coming out July next year. Take my money.
Yep. Even if it's not the best movie in the world. Like, I didn't love Tenet, to be honest. Like, I saw Tenet and I was like, I don't know. I didn't really like it. But the experience itself was something I don't regret. Where it's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. 100%. And this is what I say to people, is I know people go, I didn't really like Tenet. I'm like, you may have not really liked Tenet, but you can't tell me another film that's shot like that, that's just so unique, with the fact the actors had to shoot the scenes both forward and back. And it had to make you think. Hell, that last scene where you see people getting dropped on the battlefield, where people going forward and there's people going back, is just such an incredible concept. And the mind that you have to have, that you have to make sure that you're 10 steps ahead, 10 steps back, to make sure all the scenes flow together.
Yep. Yeah, dude, like it's they're event films, like they really are, and like people just have to experience them, because even if you don't like the film, you're in for a unique experience. Like my co-host, like when he joins me and he's not like making movies, he one of his favorite movies of all time is Interstellar. And I did not like Interstellar that much. That's like my big hot take. I always hear like, what's your movie hot take? I'm like, I didn't care for Interstellar that much. But my buddy, he loved Interstellar, still loves it, still gets emotional watching about it, talking about it. And to share that experience with him was pretty awesome, because he loved it so much. And then just the experience of a whole, of like how that was shot, how it was filmed, how it looks. Even if it wasn't my favorite movie of all time, like the experience itself, I was like, that was an experience where I'm better because I was there.
Yeah.
And I think Nolan that's just his thing, and even bring it back to like where like the Dark Knight series, where people bash on like the Dark Knight Rises. I love the Dark Knight Rises. I think it's I think it's probably my favorite of the three, honestly. And like
technically it's more of a sequel to the first one than it is the second one.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and I still remember like going there opening night, midnight showing in Idaho, and just it was an event, it was an event that you had to be a part of, you couldn't miss, and now he just descended to that way to where even the movies that you might not like, are going to be
you're in for a wild ride.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And he really pushed it with this the Dark Knight. He really pushed that. As I said, he elevated everything from the first film going into this second film, and then elevated again in the third film. And the Dark Knight trilogy is one of the most fantastic film franchises on the screen because of Christopher Nolan, of course, also with his help with his brother Jonathan Nolan as well, helping doing the writing. But you just think what this film would have looked like in a different director's hands, and just like you don't know. And I'm glad he did finish the trilogy.
Yeah, me too.
If he didn't finish it, it would have been so weird, the fact that you had this Batman film which was fantastic, but you never got to see what would happen in the end if he did make The Dark Knight Rises.
Dude, and him making the movie, like I think about like the Nolan touch like in movies, and I think one thing that Nolan does really good is like cinematography of how he conveys what's happening without having to tell you what's happening. Like the scene where Bruce is standing over the ashes looking at like this piece of paper or whatever like in his hand, just like iconic of like Bruce is mourning his failure to save Rachel. The scene where like he's standing like in that Chinese tower, and it's like, oh, this is the power of Batman to be able to go wherever he needs to be what Gotham needs him to be. When he's storming off, into the light with his cape and the motorcycle and the Joker, like all these like cinematography moments that just tell you part of the story.
Chef's kiss.
Oh, and like only Nolan could do that. Only Nolan could be like just. I don't know if other director could have done it.
No. But then again, which I know there's probably real few people that probably be listening to this and make the comment, be like, Zack Snyder and Superman, Justice League, that whole thing. Oh my dude, I know that's going a little bit off topic, but because we were mentioning it earlier, is that I've already seen people's memes and people's photos of being Netflix restore the Snyderverse.
Yep,
I'm like,
I've seen that too.
It's dead. It is dead. It could not be further dead.
Yep. And honestly, good. Like, it's good that it dead. Like, how do you release the real... Like, I love the Snyder Cut. I think it's a better version than the Justice League. But how do you release that on HBO Max during the pandemic when you're already 5 movies into the story? Like, Marvel would never do that, where it's like, we're sorry that Age of Ultron was not that well received. Let's fast forward 15 years and give you the real Age of Ultron that Joss Whedon wanted to release, and you can just incorporate it as canon. Like, who does that? Like, it had some good films. It had some good ones, but let that thing die because they just didn't take care of it. And for every Zack Snyder's Justice League or Man of Steel or Wonder Woman, you get Wonder Woman 1984. You get freaking Black Adam, which I didn't think was that bad, but it was just nothing. You get the first Suicide Squad, the second Suicide Squad, kind of like annex. Like who? Who had control? Yeah.
I always feel for it, as a casual fan trying to watch these films, and it's just so disjointed. Yeah. And you mentioned Wonder Woman. You have Wonder Woman, which is a fantastic film, and then you get the second one that's like, wow, your biggest enemy is a wishing stone. You have a goddess that can rip through cars like nothing, and you make her biggest villain a wishing stone. There's no other story that you could have really incorporated, could you? Like, there's nothing else. Like, hell, you could have brought in Hawk Girl, and they could have anything.
Yep.
That's it. And then you painted Suicide Squad to be such a this fantastic, gritty. It could have been Suicide Squad trying to be in vein of Dark Knight, being that more gritty. Yeah, failed that.
Yep. Yeah, and it's been the Joker, man. Like in that movie, they marketed the Joker in that movie as if he was gonna be like the main villain or whatever, and like freaking like he wasn't. If I remember right, he was in there for maybe like 20 minutes as a whole, but it was like this version of the Joker. It was like some kind of like wankster, had like fake teeth.
Wankster.
Yeah, I'm like, Who? Like, this looks like a guy that like sold drugs at my high school.
Yeah, I know. And to Jared Leto's credit, there is a whole comic book run where the Joker is actually like that. It's not, it's not like he just brought it to the table and this is my take, well, to a degree, but like there is source material backing up his version. But and then you watch the Snyder Cut, and you're like, I kind of wish I saw more of your Joker.
Yeah.
But no, it's all done. We're well into James Gunn's era. Like it's already, like you don't need to make it any more confusing than it already is. Being the fact that, which I'm very happy, we're getting the Batman 2, but you have to explain to the average viewer that this Batman film has nothing to do with James Gunn's universe, but James Gunn's universe is going to have its own Batman called Batman and Robin, where he's going to be a bit of an older Batman, but nothing to do with Rob Pattinson's Batman, when there will be already going to be a Batman 3 after that, that still will not join the James Gunn universe.
Yeah, it's so complicated, bro. I'll tell you, I'll add one comment to your thing, and then I'll ask you one last question before I let you go. First one is, I think, to your credit, like what you said about the Joker. I think anybody that follows up the Joker after Heath Ledger would have been a disappointment. Anybody.
Yeah,
like,
anybody.
You throw in like freaking like the Leonardo DiCaprio plays a Joker, Mark Hamill plays a Joker, Willem Dafoe plays a Joker. They're all going to be like, yeah, but it wasn't Heath Ledger. So he was already given like a shitty hand to play with. And with a character like that, like I think I'm a big believer in like giving characters moments to rest where like fandom can like build up again. And they went Joker in 2008 and then a new Joker in 2015 or 2016 or whatever it was. And I'm just like, it's just not enough time has passed. You got to let this character sit for a bit. But you bring up the Batman, bro. And I'll ask you for my last question, unless you have anything else to say about the Dark Knight movie.
Oh no, I think we covered a lot of it. Probably the last thing is I've got a tattoo on my chest that I got for the 75th anniversary of Batman.
Cool.
And it's the Batman symbol breaking off into bats, which is one of the I think it was the first teaser. I think the first teaser for The Dark Knight Rises, and it's like that, and where the Batman symbol breaks off into bats. So I got that on my chest. It goes up my shoulder.
So you're a big Batman stan.
Yeah, big Batman, big Batman
cool,
fan. Yeah.
All right, bro. So who do you think Scarlett Johansson is playing in the Batman 2? I know you've seen the news. Who do you think it is?
Look, it's funny because I was actually talking to a friend about this yesterday, and when I first saw the rumor, I was like, "What the fuck? Why? Like, why are you?" Because Zoe Kravitz isn't coming back for the Catwoman, which is weird to me, and obviously until I see the movie. But then you saw apparently Emma Stone, and it was weird the fact like who's going to be playing. And look, there's multiple women that she could be playing. Talia al Ghul, she could be playing. She maybe be playing a Batman villain. She could be playing a different woman altogether, like Santina. She could be playing her as well. But one rumor I did see, which was I hope is true, because I think it would flow so well with Robert Pattinson's Batman, is she's from The Mask of the Phantasm. Have you seen that?
Yep. That's what I thought too. I think that's what I thought. I saw online was like, oh, they're doing the Phantasm story. They're doing the Phantasm story.
Yeah. I think if they use that type of storyline and blend it in to the Batman, I think it would do two things really well. You get a brand new character we've never seen in live action. You get, and if they do go down the road of the Phantasm, that is frightening. Then you go see that in live action and terrifying. And three, hasn't been done before. Like it hasn't. It's a different love story, love interest. It's not Rachel. It's not Catwoman. It's someone completely different that is entrenched in his character. And again, really, really connected with the mobsters, because the mobsters are the one who killed her father, and that's why she came back and became the Phantasm.
Yep. Dude, I kind of hope it's that one, but like it's been such a long wait that like there's so many theories out there to where
Yeah.
like Hush has been teased. Is it a Hush story?
Yes.
The Court of Owls has been teased. Is it
Yes.
the Court of Owls. It's happening in winter. Is it a Mr. Freeze?
Yes.
Is it they're mentioning like more of like the Arkhams, like Bruce's mom? Is it like a not Doctor Strange, Hugo Strange, Hugo Strange,
Yeah, Hugo Strange. Yeah.
And now with like this casting, you're like, is it like the two things that I've been seeing is like the Phantasm or Poison Ivy, which I hope it's not Poison Ivy.
I hope it's not Poison Ivy. I hope it's not Harley Quinn. Because I feel like you can't bring in Harley Quinn before you bring in the Joker properly.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really work like that. But yeah, there's a lot of people that she could be playing. But you know, if it is they do go the Mars Phantasm again, it's very different. But you're right. There's so many theories with the Batman 2. So much on what it could be. And I'm very excited for it. I'm so ready for it to be here. It just sucks the fact that, you know, which I've said multiple times, that we are not getting this until 2027.
I think toward the back end of 2027, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, October.
God, fuck.
Yep. So, you know, that year we both get Avengers Secret Wars and the Batman 2.
We'll be eating good then, and we'll know more about what the future of the MCU looks like at that point.
That's going to be... And look, going back to your point as well, when you were talking about how Doomsday might not be as big as Endgame. And I don't think it will be. But for me, which I've had this same little thing with my friends as well, me being a comic book fan, I'm like, I don't really care. We're going to have X-Men, we're having Fantastic Four, we've got the Avengers, we've got the new Avengers, they've got the cast from the original X-Men coming in together, we have Namor. I'm like, I don't give a shit what this is going to look like. I am all in.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, dude. I think Marvel is kind of like they're pivoting back to where I think people kind of want them to be, which is like superheroes, but also good storytelling. Where it's like we don't want the endless stream of content. We want the Loki season 2s. We want the Thunderbolts. We want Fantastic Four. We don't want the Brave New Worlds. We don't want like just kind of these projects that you almost forget that you watched if you kind of lose train of thought quick enough.
Yeah, I know.
And I think I just saw a thing online where Sebastian Stan, Bucky,
they were like, going to die.
Yeah, he was like, what can you tell us about this? And he was just like, just Robert Downey Jr., man. That's all he said. I'm just like, what more do you need? Like, the guy's playing a villain, one of the most famous villains in Marvel history. Like, you know that at the very least, we're gonna finally get a good Doctor Doom.
Yes. Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, I still like the Doctor Doom from the original Fantastic Four.
I do too.
Films, like his outfit, the way he acted, the way he hated Reed Richards and everything.
Yep.
I'm like, that was perfect Doctor Doom. Like, that was fine. The hard thing is when people think of the most recent Doctor Doom, it's it's Bender on meth in that Fantastic Four film. And not to mention, there was also a recent interview with Kelsey Grammer, and he's like, I liked working with Shang-Chi and Thor and Pedro Pascal. I'm like, my brain's already like, oh my god.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait, and it'll be interesting to see like after Secret Wars 2, like what Marvel looks like in the future, because I think that like so many of these characters, I think that we're gonna lose. Like I mean, maybe Spider-Man could keep going, but Tom Holland kind of seems like I don't know if he wants to be done, but he's been doing this for almost. By the time the next Spider-Man comes out, it'll be almost 15 years. It's hard to believe. Like the Doctor Strange. Just what Marvel will look like as they kind of transition into, I'm assuming, like the X-Men, these new heroes, or if they just do like a hard reboot. Like I don't know what they're going to do, but I think we should know more after Secret Wars.
The rumor is they're meant to do a hard reboot. It is meant to be more focused on X-Men. It is going to be more focused on the new generation type of stuff. And I think with Tom Holland, I think it has done very well for him in the sense that we're seeing both him, how young he was when he started playing Peter Parker, him grow up,
Yeah.
And I do hope that he does make another film after Brand New Day where he's adult Spider-Man and he teaches Miles Morales. Like, I would love a movie with it like that where it's like him kind of passing the baton that this is the film where he will fade out. This is going to be his last film. And then Miles Morales is going to be the new Spider-Man moving forward.
That'd be cool. I would like that because there's like Spider-Man. About what I really enjoy about Spider-Man and Batman too, which is just their rogues gallery and how much there is to choose from.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see like an MCU version, like legitimately, of like a Venom or like a Carnage, like a legit Carnage that's like a serial killer and scary and has like some character development, like not like what we got like in whatever the second Venom was. Like there's so many villains of like I think Tombstone's coming in like in this next one. The Scorpion,
yes.
We've never seen the Scorpion on screen, like really on screen until hopefully this next one. And then like, is there a Hobgoblin story in there? Is there like a new Green Goblin story?
Be.
There's just so many rogues that like I used to like watch like in the animated series where I'm like, oh, they should incorporate that at some point. But if it has to be a new Spider-Man, it has to be a new Spider-Man because like these actors are human and they do kind of like move on with their careers and they want to do other things, which I totally get.
With Tom Holland, it's Tom Holland versus Tom Holland next year in July.
Yeah, no kidding,
He's got Odysseus and Spider-Man basically going head-to-head in the same month. I'm like, jeez. Like, that would be like, oh, jeez, yeah. What a great month for me.
Yeah, dude, no shit. Him and Rob Pattinson over the next 18 months are going to be in everything. Like, this year's kind of like the year of, like, Pedro Pascal, which is in everything. Like, Rob Pattinson, he's got the Batman coming up, but he's also in the new Dune movie.
Dune 3, yeah.
Yeah, he's in the Odyssey as well, or Odysseus, or whatever it's called, and Tom Holland as well. He'll be in fucking the Odyssey. He'll be in fucking Avengers Secret Wars, Avengers Doomsday. So I
don't think he's in Doomsday.
Oh, he's not in Doomsday.
I don't think he's in Doomsday, but he would definitely be there for Secret Wars.
I mean, he's in Brand New Day. It's his movie. That's what I forgot to say.
Sorry, Brand New Day.
Brand New Day. Brand New Day, Doomsday, The Odyssey. Those potentially, bro, could be the three highest grossing movies of the year next year, and he's in all three.
Yeah, his box office is going to be, like, his box office is already high, but it's even going to be even more higher with Odysseus and all of that. Because I think it's Zoe Saldana. She is the highest grossing woman actress of all time right now, because she's been in all three Avatar films, and she's been in all the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and she was in Avengers Endgame. So she right now is the box office queen. Dude,
we're eating good the next couple of bit.
We
even talked about like the TV stuff. Like, I'm a big Daredevil stan. Daredevil, X-Men '97. Like,
X-Men '97. I can't. Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Like, and the fucking Punisher special. Like, that's gonna kill it.
Yes.
We're eating good for the next. We're always eating good. Like, we're
March for Doom, Daredevil Born Again. Oh, and the fact that Daredevil Born Again is not only getting season 2, they've greenlit season 3.
Oh yeah, baby! Bullseye's coming back. Kingpin, made by the same people. Like, oh man, I can't wait.
It's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be good.
Dude, well, man, I sure appreciate you coming on. I know I promised you an hour and a half or about there, but dude. Last thing I'll ask for, again, people listening to the podcast, because this probably won't come out until maybe January, but where can people find you if they want more content from Mr. Rant?
Well, always you can find us on Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, and Lights Camera Rant, or Mr. Rant. You can find us on. We have new episodes that go out every single Tuesday. We go live every weekend, so we're always invite everyone to come and join the ranting, and we talk about all the new stuff every single day on our Instagram. And dude, thank you also for inviting me back. It's always a pleasure talking to you. These are always fun. and I can't wait till we chat about the Dark Knight Rises to wrap this all up.
Cool, man. I can't wait, man. Dude, good luck on your rant. We'll tag you and everything, and we will see you back for the Dark Knight Rises.
Can't wait, man. Thank you.